go. Welcome back to episode 3. Today we have a lovely special guest. My husband. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think we're just gonna jump into it and just get started. We're gonna talk about living a spiritual life and our experience in that and kind of what it was like to recognize. I mean, we're all spiritual beings and that is constantly here, that always exists. And when we start giving more attention to it, listening to it, stepping into that side of ourselves, which I feel like takes away a lot of the extra rules, like the matrixy things that you should be doing, what's socially acceptable. I feel like it takes all of that away. And then it's the kind of the essence of all being one. And when we start to pay attention to that without all the extra bullshit and made up rules that people put on it.
Whoa, I didn't know we were allowed to cuss on this podcast.
It's my podcast. I can do whatever I want. So, what ways do you feel like connect you? How do you express your spirituality? What do you feel like is a very connecting thing for you?
Music, for sure. But I like to go on the water, really connected to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's nice.
Do you feel like your... Do you feel like your experience with your own spirituality has been something that's always been present and you've always felt that as your guiding force? Or do you feel like it's something that you just started paying attention to recently?
I think I knew it was there. I always felt like I was destined to do more, be more, experience more.
Do you think most people feel that way and don't have, I don't know if confidence is the right word, but don't have that extra, I don't know, support or confidence to listen to it?
Yeah, I think a little bit in everybody. Some people more than others.
Yeah. I asked because I feel like I can remember, I mean, I don't have specific memories of like being a kid, but I remember always having this desire to feel free. I remember like 14.
Yeah.
You know, you got all your
Yeah.
crazy hormones happening, and life at 14 is such a wild experience. And I just remember always being like so upset because I always just felt like I just want to feel free, but I never knew what that meant. So I spent a lot of time, I feel like by the time I was like 18, I spent a lot of time thinking I had to like run away, like I had to go somewhere or do something. I thought, especially that was when the like living in a van became a thing. So I was like, I have to live in a van or do something like that to be free. And now I feel like freedom and feeling free is just an internal state.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel like you have... It doesn't have to be like a word or something. Like for me, it's always been freedom. I have to feel free. I hate anything that makes me feel boxed in or has too many rules and regulations. Like, feels soul crushing to me. Do you feel like you have like one word that you feel like drives you?
Adventure.
Ooh, tell me more.
Oh, yeah, I just like adventures, you know. Like to go here, like to go there, experience all I can, meet the people, play the music, see how other people live. Want to, you know, travel across the world and just see what the whole world has to offer rather than just one state.
What do you think you're seeking through adventure?
Ooh.
Because all of those are like methods to fulfill something. You don't have to have an answer. I'm just thinking, what is that something for you? You don't have to answer.
I don't know.
It doesn't.
It's deep. It's just like a...
You can just contemplate. You don't have to always have an answer.
Well, I'm going to have one.
Okay.
It's like a... I'm trying to find the words. Well,
we can circle back. Okay, I want to switch gears.
Whoa.
Similar. But I want to take it to when we started talking about and deciding, like noticing the Matrix and deciding that we didn't want to be caught up in it. And when we started to actively decide to follow our hearts and what we felt was right for us without being bound by society's rules and expectations and stuff. Because I think both of us have always kind of lived our life in that way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the approach that we take now and that we've talked about a lot is like, it's still that similar essence. It's just making those moves with a bit more awareness and intention. Because I think when you're young, you're like, F everybody, I'm just going to do what I want, Yeah. And I think now it's not done with any hate or... Do you need more?
Weird noise in there.
It's not done with any more, like any hate or, I guess, hardness, any force. It's more like I can love and appreciate everybody's trip and everybody's journey and where everybody's at, and that doesn't impact my own, and I'm going to listen to my own heart. So I kind of want to talk about what that's been like for us.
It's been great.
Yeah, and it hasn't been, I mean, it's not super easy because I feel like
you don't lose people, but you
begin to notice the depth of other like connections, and that's what I was talking about earlier when I said like it can feel lonely, because I think you start to realize
not everybody's into what you're into. Mm-hmm. In fact, most people are not into.
And not that people have to be, like, you don't have to have similar interest to be connected to someone. I feel like some of my deepest connections are with people who are total opposite of me. I think it's the fact that, like, the deepest connections I have, I'm not fulfilling a role for that person.
Yeah.
It's more just like we love spending time together.
Yeah.
Even though we're totally different, it's just my soul feels so happy and full in the presence of your soul, rather than I'm looking for you to fulfill this role in my life, and if you're not fulfilling this role in my life in the way that I think it looks like, then we aren't close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get out of here.
But that's what I'm getting at, is when people decide.
Now people are gonna see my feet.
I think when you decide to exit the Matrix, or whatever you want to call it, it can be super lonely. And I think sometimes when it starts to feel super lonely, you kind of start to question, like, am I doing the right thing, or am I just
Are we?
effing insane?
Maybe we're not. Maybe we are. Maybe we'll never know.
No, but I'm just saying, when you're doing something totally different than anybody else around you, you have to really trust. You have to have a lot of trust in yourself, a lot of trust in the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, whatever that thing that's more than you, whatever that guiding force is for you, you have to have a lot of trust in that and a lot of trust in your own ability, because that's when you stop getting external validation because nobody else understands what you're doing. And the flip side of that is that it gives you more understanding and more grace because you realize you don't understand what anybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you start to lose a lot of judgment towards other people, because when you're in this space with yourself of love and trust and allowing yourself to be misunderstood, then you don't feel this deep desire to understand why everybody else is doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could really care less, as long as they're having a good time.
Yeah, but that hasn't always been the case. There was a season of people pleasing.
Yeah, for sure.
And you only have to say as much as you want to say. You don't have to go any deeper than you want to. But how was your experience?
People pleasing.
And what was it like for you
Non-people-pleasing.
learning to not be such a people pleaser? Which I feel like is a continual...
My experience was not bad. I met a lot of great people and learned a lot of cool things, but you're never doing it for yourself, so you didn't really know, like who you really were. You were just doing what other people thought. What you thought other people wanted of you. And then coming out of that, not, doing what other people wanted me to do and doing my own thing. It was tough at first because the people around you sometimes judge, and that can be tough, but you just
being
remember
misunderstood.
that. And that's where the, no judgment towards them comes in. That's on them for feeling how they feel towards me, but I'm doing great.
I think it takes a lot. I don't want to say a lot. It takes getting to that point to realize, I guess, getting to the point where you're listening to your own heart and so in what you're doing. It takes getting to that point to not take everything so personal. Because I think that's what it is in people pleasing and our ego. We take how other people respond and react to us highly personal because we think it's something like, oh, we must have did or said something that caused that.
Yeah.
And I think when you get to this point where you always judge a little bit. We're human, it's not like we walk around and we're all peace and love. We try our best.
Yeah.
And judgment still happens. So we're not perfect. And I think when you get to this point where you begin to recognize when judgment starts happening and you can kind of see it and then step back and return back to a more peaceful, more loving state and not needing to understand everybody, I think in that state is when you realize it's not personal. I think that's when it gets to the point where if someone blows up on you or reacts some way that you would have never expected or feels attacking, I think that's when you're at the point where you can look at that person and be like have a little bit more love. And then maybe if you have that rapport, that relationship, are you okay? Because there's something, and it's said for everybody. When we were just talking about this the other day, when you get mad or something makes you mad or you have some type of reaction to something, frustrated, when you have an emotional reaction to something, it's not that thing.
Yeah.
It's what that thing is bringing up for you. And so that's why I think sometimes people see spirituality, it's it's love and peace and you're only those things, when in fact in the anger and the frustration and what we would view as more negative emotions. There's a lot of power in that because I feel like that is like frustration is a mirror. And when you start to have these feelings like these, some type of reaction, you take a moment and you say, okay, what within me, you get to recognize an attachment that you have. What within me is so attached to this idea, or what's allowing me to get this
frustrated over something so small.
Yeah. And then you realize it's not even that situation. It's something within yourself. And once you just make these little realizations and connections, I think we don't always view that as like a big win.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the little things that, like, then the next time you start to feel frustrated, you get there a lot faster. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I do.
I'm really loving this. I'm really loving having you on here.
Yeah.
Are you having the time of your life?
Oh, just spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking's not my strong point.
Yeah, but you have so many...
Well, people always think, you must like to talk a lot since you like to sing. That's not true.
Yeah. Who thinks that? Who's ever said that to you?
All the people that ask me, hey, can you talk about this on the microphone at the shows sometimes.
Do you think that they're assuming you like to talk, or do you think they're doing
that
because there's something that's...
either. So they think, oh, you have a mic already, you can just talk.
Or, yeah.
No, I don't want to.
So, yeah, let's go down this road.
Oh.
Let's have you talk more. Like, do you need to leave?
I'm fine. We'll get to it. Come on.
Okay.
I have a mantra to go get.
Okay, so let's get into this. Why singing? Why do you love singing so much?
I don't know.
How does singing in front of a crowd make you feel?
Great. Love it. Especially when the people are in it. That feels really good. To know that people are enjoying.
Yeah. So a little bit deeper than it feels good. What do you feel like when you're singing, and do you like the word performing, or does performing not feel accurate for what you do?
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm a performer.
Because sometimes performing feels...
Because performing can be fake, I think, so...
Ooh.
So, no, I don't think I perform. I think I just do my thing on stage and hope people enjoy it.
So you're like a creator. I think... Ooh, this is super exciting. Okay, so part of the reason I love being a yoga teacher is because I feel like I get to hold space for people in a way that's really authentic for me.
Yeah.
So do you feel
that's
like...
That's what we do, I think.
That's what I was about to say.
We create the vibe.
Yeah, and you're getting to hold space for people.
Yep.
Rather than... Yeah. So that's what it is for you. Similar?
Similar.
Yeah. I think that's pretty accurate. Like when you get to a space where you're creating from your soul. I think sometimes it can feel scary because there's so many unknowns. Like not even a year ago when I started teaching yoga, I would have had no idea. I could have never guessed like what it would be right now. And a few years ago when you hit play on that recording and sprinted out and had me listen to you sing, would you have ever guessed you'd have an album out in 2 years? You know what I mean?
No, I did not.
So I think it can be scary because when you're following your heart, there's no guideline. Like when you're doing what other people have done before, they can lay it out for you and say,
yeah,
you need to do XYZ to get this job and make this amount and whatever. But when you say, okay, but what is my heart saying? I feel like it normally, the universe is going to put you through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
I think it's worth it if you trust it.
yeah, it takes a lot of trust. I think it makes you realize how much you want it, and it takes away everything fake.
Fake. We don't like fake people.
You're taking it there. No, I mean, like, anything that's not authentic to you, I think the universe takes it away, and it can be really painful, because it's like, I want to hold on to it. It's your ego. It's like your ego wants to hold on because it's that comfort blanket, and the universe is like, you don't need that.
Could you say you were blinded by your ego spell?
Ooh. In what sense? Tell me more.
I just...
That's the only line you had.
Well, it's in one of our songs.
Oh, is it? What song?
One that's not out yet.
Oh. Do you want to sing it for us?
No.
Do you want to tell me? What's the song about?
That if you could go back in time, would you change it? Anything in your life? But basically it's saying, no, I wouldn't. Because you're where you're supposed to be. So if you could go back in time, even though all the crappy things you did or something, you know, you still wouldn't change it because of where you're at now.
Tell me the line. The blinded by your ego. Can you tell me the whole line? Or is that giving away too much?
Well, I didn't write the song. This one I didn't write, so can't explain it as good.
As, yeah, the person that created it. That's fair. That's fair. What's your favorite? What's your favorite? That would be hard. You guys have so many songs.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be your absolute favorite. What is one song that you feel like really, really speaks to your soul that you play and not perform?
Take a chance.
Why?
It's about taking chances, you know? And sometimes I don't do that, so...
You don't take chances?
Yeah, I didn't used to, but now I do, so I think I hold... Yeah, that song expresses, you know... So,
okay. Are you hating answering all these questions? Because I have more.
Yeah.
Do you want me to ask more, or do you want to move on?
You can ask another one. Are you gonna put this on the podcast?
Yes, this is the podcast. I think you're doing great. I'm having a lot of fun.
Okay.
Are you having a good time? How is your first podcast experience?
Well, it's not bad. I wish I had a little more coffee, but I'm out now.
Do you need a sip of my water?
Nah.
Okay. Okay, so what do you think was the biggest difference between when you used to not take chances and now that you feel like you are taking more chances? What's the biggest difference within yourself that has allowed you to feel comfortable to make more chances?
Well, now that I just go for it a lot more, it's like all the things I wished I would not have, but want to be, I actually go after now instead of just...
So do you think going from when you didn't take many risks and many chances to now when, I mean, I feel like that's kind of how we live. We just follow our heart and hope it, or follow our hearts and trust that it's going to work out, which it is, you know?
Sure.
Now I forget my question.
Oh, shucks.
No, okay, I remember. Do you feel like it took just taking a chance even when you were terrified to do it? Like, do you think it took the experience of taking a chance and it working out or not working out to feel more comfortable to do it again? Or do you think it was a mindset shift?
I think both.
Okay. That's the answer.
Yeah, I think both, because it took chances that didn't work out, but you also have to change in your mind, just keep doing it.
Yeah, I also don't know if I believe that things don't work out.
Yeah.
I think I don't believe in that idea.
Yeah, I think they work out most of the time.
I think that the idea of like failure and things not working out when you've given like a lot of your time and energy to it is almost like a trap that I don't know if I would say society or just like the human condition. I don't know where it comes from. But I feel like it's a trap that we get caught in.
Yeah.
That holds us back from doing more. I don't know why like failure or not working out is like even in our vocab. And this is just something I've been contemplating lately. I don't think you can fail. I don't think something cannot work out. And I say that as someone who has failed or made a lot of plans that didn't happen.
A failure always leads to more.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. I just said it a lot quicker.
I'm more wordy than you.
Yeah.
Bottom line, up front.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Do you think that's true? Do you feel like we get caught in the word failure and we use that to hold ourselves back, whether it be consciously or subconsciously? I think when we tell ourselves we've failed, it holds us back and we see ourselves in a lot more negative light rather than saying, okay, this didn't work out. What's possible from here? What is this making space for? Like, if this didn't work out as I thought it might, what is supposed to take up that space,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it depends on the situation.
What do you mean?
Because you can fail a test. That's failing. That's a fact. But you can
like
fail
a school test?
Or any, test. Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? What kind of test? Like a written test?
Yeah,
a life test?
Like you got an F. That's failing.
But is it?
It is. You failed. Try again. I
did fail a college course. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
By like oh my gosh, what was it? Like 0.25%. I failed a college course and I had to retake it.
Yeah.
I should have just quit college then.
Yep. Oh well.
Yeah. I think college is a scam. I think a lot's a scam. But that's for another day.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like we've done it? We did the thing?
I think so.
I
probably sound dumb as hell, but...
No! I think you had wonderful things to say.
Yeah.
I hope you come back to more podcasts because I love having you on there. Okay, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our lovely podcast together.
Till next time.
Till